All right, so I guess it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. Sorry, where it's just me sitting, staring, kind of talking into the camera, and it feels a bit odd. But anyway, giving it a go because I thought the last few videos that I've made, it's been me, I guess out and about, keeping myself busy, keeping myself entertained while I less distracted about the fact that I am talking, to this camera and potentially no audience at all. And also, I guess some small part of me is also realizing that it probably has been a couple of weeks now since I, sat down and actually recorded a video, for this channel. And I kind of looking through the ones that I've still not yet released, and they're in the YouTube channel. I've got them sitting there, and I haven't yet published those to make them, accessible to yourselves potentially as a community. And then I'm kind of sitting there asking myself the question, why is that? So yes, as I, sit here now with my trusty friend Barney beside me, and I reflect on that question that I asked myself a moment ago, and the question being, why is it that I've not clicked publish on the channel, any one of my videos, all of the ones that are sitting there. And I guess the main reason, if I'm honest and reflecting on that, to myself now, probably comes back to the simple thing, well, not really a simple thing, but the one thing that can probably best described is confidence and lack thereof. Having very low self-confidence is something that I know myself have always struggled with. I'm sure that there would be those of you that would be watching would be, in a similar position yourselves. So, from what I've begun to understand, certainly about myself and what I've always kind of known but never really knew, but what I've certainly become more educated on over the course of this year is the fact that, this condition, so ADHD, this thing that's going on up here, again, a lot of it is up here, it really inhibits confidence. And, it's one of those things that we lack. It's all related and all linked to this, deficit. I guess, that deficit, or, what I know now in relation to myself, the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder that I have, myself being diagnosed with, the low self-confidence, and I guess a low or a poor self-image has, really been probably the single thing that has prevented me from clicking that magic publish button. Now, again, I've got 15 or so videos, maybe a dozen videos, sitting there in the channel library there now. They're all sitting there and they're all in a private view. I've recorded the first one probably going back to, I don't know, well, the very first one I recorded was actually my birthday. Well, the evening of my birthday, last year when I turned 48. And that was the day that my son himself received the ADHD diagnosis. And it was also the day that I realised that, hold on, Troy, this thing that you've never known about for yourself, that's it. And over that period of the subsequent following months, I recorded a number of videos. I guess there's, somewhat progress updates to really kind of map my journey. So the intention was to, again, I had no real intention in the beginning, and that's one of those unique traits of, I guess, this condition, and that is we're quite spontaneous and don't really plan anything in any particular way. We're very much, I guess, I know myself for certain, there's no denying it. I can never really follow a plan. In fact, if I'm ever given a plan, I'll never read it. Most likely I'll just put it down, put it to the side, and make it up as I go. So I guess, the story of this channel, and I guess what I've created thus far to be published at some stage, is very true to that, set of circumstances. I've had no real plan as to how what it was I was going to achieve. I had kind of conceptual idea in my own mind. I believed, and I've always thought that, well, from the moment I had this realization, I've had it's like a light bulb in my own mind went off at that stage. And it was a light bulb that says, Troy, you've been stuck your whole entire life. You've not been able to talk about this. Somehow that's kind of opened the door. It's kind of allowed you to have the confidence to communicate. Where am I going? I'm going to press pause and come back in a sec. So yeah, it's a very interesting and curious observation. So, a moment ago I was talking about having low confidence or lacking confidence, and it is 3 hours later, and thinking to myself, okay, having reviewed the footage that I recorded a few hours earlier, we're getting onto around about 5 minutes. In my mind, I kept telling myself that's long and rambly. No one's ever going to watch this. So again, that's this confidence thing, and maybe there's an element of truth in there. Some of you may have already tuned out and may not ever get to see this, but at the same time, it keeps coming back to, I guess, the confidence message, Troy, and trying to overcome that, and I guess continuing through. I think I touched on, and it won't become as any surprise probably to anyone that has this condition, so ADHD, in the fact that, quite often due to lack of confidence, we will often fail to follow through. So I guess coming back to the point, that I was trying to make at the start of this video, and I was struggling to get there because I was kind of meandering and losing my way, was trying to overcome, I guess, some of those confidence issues or challenges that I know I do face, and that we all do face as a result of this condition. And I guess one way for myself in overcoming those challenges is actually to, get past that thing that's holding me back, and I know is holding me back, and holding me back, from actually hitting that publish button. So maybe, tonight's the night, whatever the date is in October in 2023, maybe tonight is the night where we actually do click, the publish button, and get the channel online and bite the bullet, so to speak. So yeah, that's it. Maybe it's going to happen, and let's just press the button, Troy, put it out there. I've always been fearful of feedback, negative, whatever. I always love positive feedback, as we always do, but again, going back to being this young person who experienced a fair bit of criticism as a person growing up, so as a young child. I saw an interesting statistic myself a few weeks ago, or months ago now, where I'll try and find it and try and insert the graphic here, because I thought, to me, it was quite powerful. But the graphic talked about a person with ADHD, so a child specifically, by the time they reached the age of 12, they would have experienced having received negative feedback to how they were doing and just generally how they were behaving and whatnot. The estimate was in this infographic, I believe it was, say, 20,000 times in their life up until the age of 12, I think it was. And I guess I would absolutely, without doubt, hand on heart, find and myself, as being one of those individuals. Being a person that grew up as a child of the 70s and 80s, and the world being a different place then compared to what it is today. I think I'm no different to the multitude of others that are, my age, and maybe even the generations that have come since. So the younger than I am. But I guess the point to try and make there, and again, losing my way with trying to get to the point and stay on topic, is the fact that, what that does to my self-confidence and to our self-confidence. It holds us back and prevents us from doing some of these things that neurotypical people still find challenging, but for somehow, in some way, I guess neurotypical people would be potentially, I'm not exactly sure, but I would potentially believe that they may find it a little bit easier, I guess, to overcome. Again, I've got to make sense in my own mind. Maybe overanalyzing it, potentially. But anyway, I thought it was interesting just to touch on that and insert that into the channel, because I am curious to hear from any others that are, neurotypical like myself, so have ADHD or something of a similar form of condition or deficit, and hear from anyone that might have sat through this seemingly 10 minutes or so of this video now, and tell me, what is it like for you? Is this all in my head? I don't believe it is, from things that I've viewed or others that I've viewed out there. But anyway, I am very curious to understand. So look forward to hearing your feedback. Look forward to receiving your feedback, and whatever in the comments below, if that's the thing that you're inclined to do. Who knows, I may not ever get any comments at all, but again, all part of that confidence thing is putting it out there, get it onto the channel, and go from there. So anyway, stop talking about it, Troy, and hit that button. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.